There we go. I think. I'm coming, guys. Sorry. It's being a pain in the ass tonight. My life is falling apart. My camera's falling apart. Wah. All right. I think we got it now. Sorry about the delay, people. If you were here, Logan, you maybe just take one more look. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry to put you out. How's that? How am I looking? Am I looking good?
Yeah.
Am I looking fly, dope, well lit? Sorry, son.
Yeah, you're looking lit,
Sorry,
Dad.
sorry to well lit.
Start
There's a big difference.
flossing and dabbing and
Okay,
flipping
go away,
water
go
bottles.
away. God forbid I ask you for 5 seconds of help, jerk. Me and my son.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Stop it. My time. Jesus. Boy, maybe that COVID-19 thing's starting to kick in the old Corelli household. Maybe we're starting to get at each other's throats a little bit, huh? Actually, I was outside a lot today. Hope you guys have been able to enjoy the outdoors a little bit. I go for walks with my friend Pete. We are cautious and careful, and we stay away from people. And we did about 6 miles today, and I also had to mow a property that my stepfather owns. So I was out doing that too. Once again, social distancing. I'm being careful. I'm being good. I'm wearing a mask sometimes. I have to admit, I don't always wear the mask, but I'm always away from people. So there you have it. Anyway, hope you're here. Glad you're here. As you can see, that's me looking kind of hostile. That's around 1992 with a very 1992 shirt, covering the years 1991, 92, and 93. Big years. A lot of stuff went on. Man, I may go long again tonight. If you guys aren't up for that, you can always leave. I hope you stay, though. Or you can always check it out later. There are options in life. I hope you guys aren't feeling too limited in those options in the times we're living in. But we'll get through this. We're strong people. We're Americans, damn it. Anyway, enough of that. 1991 was an interesting year. I was in the heart, right in the middle of my college years, in the middle of my my work years at the theater, and I was also I was trying to be kind of an activist. I went to a counter protest. The Klan decided that Hitler's 102nd birthday, so it would have been yesterday. I don't know how he was born in 1889. I'll let you guys do the math. But it was for his 102nd birthday in 1991, 4/20/91, and a bunch of real class acts got on the steps of the Capitol. About 60 of them, Aryan Brotherhood, white supremacists, Klansmen. And we went and counter-protested. We ended up... They had to be a little scared because the police had to protect them. I mean, we weren't violent, but the police got in between. They're like, this could get ugly. It never did. But they were outnumbered about 10 to 1. There were about 600 protesters, and we had a lot of fun. And I'm not a big fan of the N-word, but I am a fan of it when it works really well against white people, which is something that happened at this protest. We were sitting there and we were chanting all kinds of stuff at them. And then there's like this pocket of black guys in the middle of the protesters. And they started chanting white niggers. And everybody started chanting it at them. And these guys lost their collective minds. They were just up there on those steps. And they knew they couldn't do anything because they're outnumbered 10 to 1. Just, it was great. It's the best thing to call one of those guys. They do not like it. And like I said, I didn't feel bad about saying it because the black guys started the chant, so it was okay to join in. That was pretty crazy. Like I said, that was 91. What? Don't worry about it. I own my words. Don't worry about it. I don't know why you think you need to censor me. I don't need it. I'm fine. Got this. I'm talking about something that happened. Fucking hypersensitive millennials. I'm over it. You understand I was against the Klan, right? You understand I was a counter-protest. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about it later. This is not what people tune in for you and me to argue and to get offended. And if they got offended, I'm sorry. Put it in the comments. We'll discuss it. I think it's pretty clear what happened and what my feelings are about the people that were protesting that day. 92, I don't remember a lot about it. I'm sure things happened. But 93 was a humongous year for me. Started off the year dating my wife. We started dating in February of 93, right before Valentine's Day. And a few months later, in May, I went to Europe for 2 full months. It was pretty great. I got kind of lucky. My grandfather died in the late '80s and left me some money that I didn't know about. My dad had put it in a trust for me. He didn't tell me about it, but I ended up with like about 5 grand, and I was able to go to Europe for 2 months on 5 grand. You could do that back then. I bought a Eurail pass. We got cheap plane tickets. Went out there with one of my best friends, Troy Hunt. We flew into England, and we saw 14 countries over the course of 2 months. Some of the highlights, I'd say, one was going to Dachau in near Munich. So seeing a concentration camp was pretty intense and pretty sad. Going to Museo del Prado in Madrid was one of the final things I did. I got to see the amazing painting. Thank you, by the way. I got to see the amazing painting Guernica by Picasso. And when you see this thing in art books and stuff, you think, okay, it's like, who knows how big it is. This thing's a mural. It's not a painting. It's like 6 feet tall and I think 14 feet across, maybe more. It is huge. And they had it covered in plastic, because, not like thin plastic, like 1/4 inch thick plastic, so nobody would screw with it, which is sad. But if you don't know the history of the painting, it's basically based on Guernica was a town in mid-30s Spain, and Francisco Franco was a dictator, much cut of the same cloth of Hitler and Mussolini, and he basically tried out his war machine on this town, and it was horrific. And Picasso portrayed those horrors in this amazing painting. So I got to see that. That was really cool. I got to see a lot of art because about halfway through the trip when we went to Munich, we met up with my other friend Chris Miles and another kid named George, who looks like a miniature Jesus. So for a while it was the 4 of us for a couple weeks, and that was pretty cool. When we were in Munich, we also met 3 Swedish guys, Peter, Patrick, and Olaf. And we had a lot of fun with them for about 2 weeks. We got to go to Czechoslovakia with them, Austria, and I think we went to Rome with them maybe too. But we got to spend a couple weeks with 3 of the most prolific drinkers I've ever known in my life. We met them at the Hofbrauhaus, which is a tourist trap. You go there and they play polka music, and the girls are dressed like, the waitresses are dressed like, I don't know, classic German maidens, and you eat steak and you drink huge liters of Lowenbrau, and that's what you do there. And we ran into these guys, and we could see they were kind of looking at us funny. And so I don't know if they reached out to us or we reached out to them, but they were intrigued that we were Americans, and we were idiots because we thought they were Germans, but no, they were Swedes. And we ended up drinking with them that night. They said, now we do U-boats, and we're like, what are U-boats? And it's a U-boat. I think they've been called submarines or depth charges here. I've never been a big drinker, but you take that liter of Lowenbrau or whatever Pilsner it is, and you drop a shot with the glass and everything. You drop a shot of Jägermeister in there. Yeah, it's pretty awful, and yeah, it was bad because first of all, when we met these guys, the biggest guy's name is Peter, and he said something I'll never forget. He said, in Sweden we don't do drugs like coke or pot. We just drink. We drink a lot, and they really did. And so that night we all had a U-boat, and 4 for 4, the Americans at some point the rest of the evening threw up. I got lucky. I made it to the sink in the hostel. Some of us didn't get so lucky. My friend Troy threw up in the subway. I think Chris threw up in his bed. It was pretty gross. But that was a fun 2 weeks with those guys, and it was an amazing experience. And unfortunately, I've only been back to Europe one other time since, and that was in 1999. Anyway, that was a long way to get there. So upon return from Europe, I started living with Dylan. Dylan and I lived together in my apartment for a few months, which was very small. We found a bigger place in Capitol Hill, about 10th and Washington, and we were there for a few years. And then '96 we were married. Get to that tomorrow night. But yeah, those were really, really good years. I also graduated in '93. I didn't graduate till December. I was hoping to graduate before I left for Europe, but I didn't. I screwed up, and I had to make up a couple classes in the latter half of '93. I also quit the theater in 1993. Quit right because they weren't going to give me 2 months of absence to come back, and frankly, I'd been there 6 years. I didn't really want to come back. I knew I was in management there, and I wasn't going to go any further. I didn't want to go any further, so it worked out. So when I came back, I didn't have a job, but luckily my friend Chris got me a job at Alpha Graphics, a copy shop basically. We made copies. My friends, like the embryonic stages of web design back then, made business cards, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't, I was there just through the end of the year. Let's see. So that's 93. I've already gone 10 minutes, I think. Sorry about the delays at the beginning of the video. And this is chapter 9 out of 18. So we are at halftime. So let's give a halftime pep talk, halftime shout outs to all of you who've watched, whether you've watched one time or all 9 times. I'm very thankful for you. Especially thankful to Rochelle Berry, Joya Albee, Kathy Gumbiner. I'm really thankful to you ladies for showing up. Chris Hillman, I know you were here for some. Mike Langworthy, you're not a lady, but I'm thankful for you too. I know Evan Dannenmiller has watched some. My mom, another lady, has also watched. So I'm very thankful for all of you for watching. I will take any feedback you get or can give, or answer any questions you have, or I just love starting conversations. That's what this is all about. This is about me talking to you about me, which is an easy subject, and frankly could go on a long time. I'm trying to keep it down to 10-ish minutes and hopefully not bore you guys. Like I said, once this is done at the end of April, I want to springboard this into something where I just keep making videos and posting them to YouTube, hoping that people can give me subjects, or maybe I just tell a couple jokes. Maybe I do a 10-minute set. I don't think I could do that every night. I don't have that kind of power as a comic, but there's a lot of options here, and I just want to keep this going. If I didn't say your name, Kim Colby from last night. I know there are a lot of people that I probably forgot to say. Oh, Bill Turner. How do I forget Bill Turner? Jesus Christ, Bill Turner. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your friendship all these years, especially those early years. Man, did I have a lot of fun with you when I was a kid. Yeah, 93. I'm 26. I'm halfway there. I'm 52 now, and we'll talk more tomorrow night. Where coupled life, married life, and on the verge of starting a family. Thanks, you guys. Have a great night. And like I said, if you have any suggestions, questions, or comments, please let me know. Have a great night. Much love. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.